we set up a meeting with me and then the manager of 7-Eleven, but I didn't set up. Yes.
No way.
And then this was like crazy. And like, I remember they thought it was like this, like, I was like, as like a 12-year-old, just like, yeah, I work for a nonprofit organization. I have like a party to plan. And they literally thought I was like, I don't know, 30 something or whatever. They come and they see like a little 12-year-old, like,
like details.
Like,
I want Slurpees at my party.
I'm here for the meeting with the manager. And I remember the worker was looking at me. They're like, get out of my face. I was like, I have a meeting with the manager. The name is Mushkie. Like,
that is so funny. You know, I'm in such a jittery mood. Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
It's so hard to see myself on this. Hello, everyone.
What's so hard to see?
No, because it's like, I think you see me clear. I hope you see me clear.
I do see you clear. I mean, obviously, it's not like a DSLR camera, that like professional camera. But honestly, like,
Excuse me, my iPhone 12
that I paid like $800 for.
Exactly. It's quite the quality.
No, but also like, what was I gonna say? For the convenience, like this might be a better option. Do you know what I'm saying? Like me and Chaya, we have to like meet up every time we record. And if she was just in her apartment, I was in my apartment, we just did over. Like for the convenience, I feel like maybe, I don't know. But I feel like, I don't know.
But there's something about being like in the same room. I feel like that you could get like the, you know, I think it like
the vibe.
We'll see how it flows, but I think it's like much easier to flow. Ooh, I think it's
I thought I showed you this before. By the way, I already finished one.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy. Wild. No, I think this will flow well.
Yeah, no, I think it'll flow well. There's something about like, no, in general, I need to have some, like, I always need something sipping on, either gum, something to be in my mouth. I don't know what it is. It's either that or I'm biting my nails. They say that if you have that, like, oral thing, then it means that you are, like, let go of the nipple too early.
What?
No, I learned this in psychology school that sometimes when, like, maybe too early, maybe too late. Maybe like you were nursing for too long.
These things like scare me. Like you hear like when you learn this, it's like God willing, when I'm like a mom, you like everything you do is like traumatizing. Like now, I want my kid to be like biting and drinking all the time because like I go to sleep like
literally,
you know,
like if you put them on the left side of the bed, they're gonna be traumatized for life. Like you know, there's
crazy.
So many things where like, oh, you have to look out for this, you have to look out for that. But I always like if I'm not eating something or drinking something, I'm biting my nails. So, anyways, in preparation for this podcast, I was like, should I drink iced coffee? But then I won't sleep tonight.
Or should I bite my nails?
So I was like, I'll just drink a beer. So it's good.
Smart.
Oh, shoot, I need to turn off the air conditioner. 1 second.
Okay. Well, this has been so fun, everyone.
Sorry, just every podcast.
Oh, that's what that noise was. I thought it was from my AirPods. That's so funny. Oh, you heard it? Yeah, it's so much more clear now. That's so funny.
Chaya's going to make me cut out this whole beginning part.
Absolutely not. Chaya, we're keeping this in.
Chaya, we're keeping it in.
Listen.
Okay. Anyways, anything else? Anything you want to share before we get into the topic? Tell us about yourself.
I don't bite my nails.
Okay, good.
No, I'm kidding. No, we're good. We could start.
Okay, let's start. We'll probably get into things as we go along.
Yes.
Okay, so today, do you still see me, by the way? Because I moved off the...
Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. So today we're talking about growing up on shlichus, which obviously we're going to have to explain exactly what shlichus is to anyone who doesn't know what it is. Although I feel like most of our listeners do, but just in case, we'll explain it. But just like growing up in that lifestyle and what it's like, what are some pros, what are some cons. So yeah, let's start with explaining exactly what shlichus is. What's the point of it, you know? So basically, I feel like we touched upon this on one of the episodes. Basically, it's I'm having a hard time figuring out like the right route to take. I can start it, and then go ahead.
I guess you could just like obviously correct me, like butt in whatever any second about explaining what it is. But it's really like couples going out to random communities and making themselves available for the Jewish community, literally in any way possible. Like really just being there for them, whether it's marriage, divorce, funerals, learning, school, like in any, even like nothing to do with like religion, like it's just like a community, like where they're really just there. Like as it's not like even like a job, it's really a life, because like once you're there, you do, no matter financial struggles or whatever you're going through, like you're dedicated to the cause. and you're really just there for your community. And there's different types. There's one specifically for like on like by college campuses, let's say, or one for a family, or one for teens. Like there's so many different aspects of it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's not like you're majoring in one job, you're doing marketing, or you're doing like communications or sales. You're really doing like all of those things because you're making programs, you're trying to get Jews like attracted to your like community, your center. The whole point is to get Jews like to keep Shabbos, let's say, or to keep kosher. And like you want to make it as accessible as possible while also like connecting with people and all those stuff. So it's like really a job for people who can like immerse themselves in all of these things.
Right. It's definitely like you have to be like in the leadership like mindset because you like everything's like it depends on you. If it's you don't do it, no one's doing it, you know? And like it becomes like your life, your family, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Also, you're not really making an income besides from like donations. That's what you're basing off your whole income on, like feeding your family. And on top of that, like from within our community, having small families is not a thing. So you're having a big family, plus you're going out in this place and you're completely relying on people donating to their thing, or maybe starting a preschool. So some people do start things of income, but it's a non-for-profit thing. So it's very, which was pretty crazy. And it's something that me and Mushkie both I didn't grow my family only went out on shlichus when I was like in 4th grade, so that I was like,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Okay. So I still have memories of like being in Crown Heights for Shabbos and like running around downstairs in my building. And then I remember when we like started going to Manhattan, it was like the weirdest thing. I'm like, what is going on? And now it's like all
You're a kid, you're probably like, what is happening?
Yeah. But now it's like all I know. And we have like some funny stories. Like me and my sister, Elle, she's like right on top of me. We used to go around. We used to have like 100 in the summer because every Chabad house kind of like caters to different type of people.
Right.
So our Chabad house caters to like more tourists and like just people in and out. While other Chabad houses like caters to the community and like families, whatever. So ours is a lot about tourists. So we would see people we didn't know, and then they would leave the next week. So me and my sister every Friday night, and in the summer we would have like 100, 150 people Friday night meals, and we'd go around and we would name each person based on like what they were doing. So like we would go and we whisper like, eating too much person. Like
when you're so bored as like a kid on shlichus and you have to come up with like, look how much he's eating tuna.
Like chewing loud, talking too much, laughing. Like I don't know, we come up with the funny things we torment, and we were convinced these people couldn't hear us, but like thinking back, I don't know how they wouldn't be able to hear us because we were like whispering, but we were like 2 inches away.
You whisper very loud, like there's no way they can hear. That is so funny.
So yeah, but what's your Chabad house like? It's more like it's more people who live there, right?
Right. It's more like families, communities. It's actually like so funny. It's actually crazy that you have like 150 people like every Friday night. Wow. Like I crack up when people are like, when it comes to like Thanksgiving, people are like, I have to make a meal for like 5 or 8 people. I'm like, girl, like we literally make a meal for at least 40 people like every Friday night, and like there's no catering.
Just to clarify. Yeah. No, first of all, just clarify. We don't have 150 every Friday night. Just in the summer, it's like that. But like usually, it's
you have
like
a lot of people. When I'm by you,
we have like it's like 60 people. But yeah, it's so true. Like people who, I mean, in general, in the Jewish world, we have big families, and we're having Shabbos meals every single week with guests. Most people host, guests over. So like cooking big meals. That's all my mother knows. If we stay home for Shabbos and like she's just cooking for us, it's like, it's not normal how much food she makes.
Yes,
like,
my mother just like, she'll cook for like 40 people because she literally does not know how to cook for less than 30 people.
Our pots and pans are like humongous. We literally have a commercial oven in my house.
Like this, like those army pots where we make like the challentin. Like
literally, it's like huge. Just like okay.
That's so funny.
So you become close with people who are in your community because like they're staying there, they live there,
right? Unless like it happened to be like recently, we have like a lot of like people are moving to Florida, so like the community is kind of changing. But yeah, there's like the OGs, I guess, there literally have seen me in diapers, have seen like watched me being born, grew up with me, remember me with a pacifier. Like every time they see me, they're like they like freak out, like that it's me.
Every single week, they're like, "Whoa,
here she comes again, bigger than ever."
I used to see you in
Yeah.
diapers. Also, like, what are you supposed to say to people who like? Oh my, Siri just went on for no reason. What are you supposed to say to people who are like, I used to see you in diapers? You're like, okay,
Yeah, like every time I see them, I was
I'm
like,
so
that,
happy.
yeah, you're so lucky.
Yeah, no, this one lady, every time she sees me, she tells me how when I was like a toddler, she used to be like, my Rivka, I love you. And she said, you used to smack me, give me a good slap in the face. I'm like, oh my God.
By the way, as a child, those like
So
juicy
crazy.
grandma kisses in my community, as like giving the
Yeah,
rabbi's daughter, I wanted to like literally throw up. Like I'm
right.
not a touchy person. Like
Disgusting.
don't put your saliva all over
Stay
me,
away
telling me
from
how
me.
cute I am. Like I don't care. Like yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh.
1,000%. Um, do you have any like crazy stories of like not crazy, well like maybe like your father has like some like stories that like people coming in and like I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm trying
like,
to think
what
of
if they
anything.
hear this? No, I'm kidding. Um,
What'd you say?
Honestly, it's actually crazy. Talking about like your Chabad house for a second. Wait, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah,
Did
I
I
hear
just
you.
cut off? Oh,
Yeah.
you just got blurry for me. Um, Talking about like your Chabad house, we actually had an influx of like French families coming in, and like your Chabad house gears
Right.
towards like French tourists. And it's
Right.
just crazy, like how you literally never know whose like lives you touch. Like every single person that like walked into my Chabad house has heard of you. They knew your dad. Like it's absolutely
Wow, that's
insane.
crazy.
Like from
Yeah.
and all of them, like literally, I never met a French person that hasn't met your family or like has heard of your dad.
Right.
Like it's insane.
Right. I know. Yeah, that's crazy. And there's
It's
stories like there's this one story that came out after he passed away. Somebody like shared a story about how his roommate was like really depressed and they called my father. I don't know all the details of the story, so like I might butcher it, but the basic story is that like he was ready to commit suicide. But my father met up with him and learned with him like a mimer or something, which is like a teaching of the Rebbe. And and in the mimer was talking about like suicide and it touched on that topic and like
that's
I guess the
crazy.
value of life and everything. And he didn't end up committing suicide. So like and those stories came like after like I don't think my father knew
Right.
the story, or maybe my father knew, but I don't think my family knew the story. Like we only learned about it after. So like there's so many things that probably happened that we don't even know about.
Right. Wait, are you able to cut out a part if I just turn my phone over for a second or no?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Sorry, there's something, I think the Wi-Fi just disconnected.
But I still hear you
Yeah,
fine.
but you're getting blurry, so just in case. Do you hear me fine?
Yeah, I hear you fine. And also it's recording separately.
Oh, okay.
Like meaning it's recording from your phone, I think, and then from mine.
Oh, but like it's fine. You hear me
So
clear.
I think, yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Sorry, what were you saying? What was the last thing you said?
Yeah. No, it's just so crazy that there's probably so many stories out there that maybe we don't even know about, but people pass through the Chabad house, met people, and
Right.
like,
I think that's actually like a big,
they get
like
inspired.
huge pro and con because like a big con of it is that a lot of times you don't see the fruit of your labor and you're like, what's the point? Like,
Right.
do I actually have an effect?
Right.
Like, it's just like your whole life. Like you question it automatically. Like, what am I doing? Like, is it worth it? Like,
Right.
what's my mission? I guess you could say like, it's just like crazy. It,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. What for you, what was like one of the
That's
hardest
what's
things?
the hardest things growing up. Um, I think I think going to there was a time I think it was like in high school where I was having like a really hard time because it was kind of just expected that I would go to Manhattan for Shabbos, but all my friends would be in Crown Heights, um, and just the whole travel there, especially when Shabbos starts early. So basically, Shabbos it starts by sundown. So in the summer months, it's like it starts 8 o'clock. You have a Friday, it's fine. In the winter months, it starts at like 4 o'clock. I'd have to leave school early, which is fine. I don't care leaving school early. But it was about like packing my stuff, traveling there an hour, sleeping in a hotel that's like not my bed, and like Shabbos day. Basically, we would only get a hotel for Friday night, so Shabbos day we'd have to like chill, and then in the summer months, the entire Shabbos day, like chilling. But I didn't have my friends around; it was just my family. So like week after week, it was definitely hard for me at certain points to like have to go away every week.
Wow, that's so exhausting.
Um, yeah. But like now I kind of appreciate it a lot because I'm older and like I connect with the people who come in more versus when I was younger, like I'm like someone entertain me.
Right.
It's like just different. It's a different stage. But yeah, what about you?
I think it was like it was in Florida. Like I'm in Florida, so it's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere. But I remember like first of all, on Shabbos, it's hard. I don't drive. I don't do anything, right? I keep Shabbos. So like none of my friends live near me. I'm the only religious one in my neighborhood. So I remember that was like difficult, but like we always had friends over. So like you obviously make the most of it. It actually becomes like more fun. Cause then like when they're with you 24/7 for like the whole weekend, which is like actually like more fun. I think like the fear of like finance, like even like if like everything was okay, just like me, my personality, that's something that like always scared me. Like even now, like even if I'm fine, like I always like, okay, next.
You
like,
always need that security.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I was going to bring that up too about financial security. Cause I think that's also one of the cons of it, like where people go into it kind of not really knowing how they're going to be financially secure. And they're also having big families and like, and it's not like a stable job where you're always getting a certain amount of income every year. You know, it's this very up and down.
Right.
Which I think like sometimes like, I mean, that was a thing that we spoke about on, me and Chai spoke about on the podcast where we spoke about like growing up with big families in general. Like, is financial security really the most important thing in having a family?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's like,
what do you think?
No, I don't think it is. And I'm very thankful for the life I was like brought up, understanding like my priorities were like amazing. Like I honestly like understood, like how certain things go over like materialistic things. I definitely think everything like has a balance. I definitely think some things that every kid should have provided for them. I mean, obviously, like everyone like struggles and everything like that, but like, yeah, I think there's certain basics that have to be like covered in order to have like a safe, healthy environment growing up. Yeah, but I'm definitely like very thankful. Like I really grew up with like what matters.
Yeah.
Like I think like the priority mindset, and I think that was like something I'm actually thankful for. And also like this was like an outcome of it. Like I also left to New York for like a boarding school. I guess like
it sounds so fancy when you say boarding school.
Yeah, I was like, boarding school is like, okay, well, it was like 150 girls squashed every grade into like 3 classrooms.
Yeah, literally.
It was chaotic. That, by the way, you should literally do like a religious high school podcast of just like your experience.
We should talk about high school. It's insane. Yeah.
You should.
But also like, it's not so different because I'm thinking public schools are like that, no?
I think having like, it's just a lot of girls, I guess, like 150 girls per grade. Like smash it. Yeah. No, it definitely, I'm sure it's like very similar.
Yeah.
And very different actually. Like I think just.
I wonder what I mean, I guess the difference is like, it's not co-ed, so we're only girls.
Right.
But otherwise, like public schools are double the size.
Right. It's so funny because like when I was in Florida, I had like a class of like 20 girls. So going from like 20 girls to like 150 girls, for me was like, whoa. Like I literally used to compare it to like Hogwarts, like the staircase, like literally Facebook for me was like Harry Potter. I'm like,
at least you were like living out a fantasy there. Like some girls couldn't handle
it. By the way,
I got my Hogwarts letter. Like, no, it was crazy how I would always discuss how like, exactly, the uniform. We would always discuss how like the out of towners were really the ones who like had a hard time, I think, in high school versus like the people who grew up in Crown Heights, always was in Beis Rivka in this big school. Like, I feel like it was not you, but I feel like it was a lot of out-of-towners who, like, caused a lot of drama.
Okay, this is very personal.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. No, I think at all. I feel like that's how it was. Like, everyone who was out-of-towner, they, like, had, like, this intense energy, you know?
I'll tell you, it actually connects the shlichus because most out-of-towners, like the school that we went to, most of the out-of-towners were from literally all around the world because they were in communities that didn't really have a religious school provided. So they all came. So they're all coming from like, it is hard because you suddenly come into like this like whole religious like ghetto style community. Not that it's like a bad thing, but it's just very different from like the way I grew up. And then you go straight into it where you're like the only person who like did certain things. And now you're in a community that like everyone does it. It's like very shocking. I really think like you either like in these situations, the way you're brought up, you either like thrive or like you're just trying to survive. Like there's no in between. I think for
and you did what? You thrived?
I think I thrived.
I think so. I feel like high school in general is just like an up and down situation, you know?
Yeah, like obviously I had my moments where I'm like, this is rock bottom. I've hit it. Like, I'm like, it cannot get worse than
then
this.
like the next day you're literally in the clouds.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
I'm
but I think
social.
like, I'll tell you the way I think I thrive is not like, cause, oh, like I thrived. I think it's because you have to be like very extroverted to come into a new place with new people and everyone already like has their groups. Like if you're introverted, I think like the way I'm saying
Right.
I thrived is because I was able to like reach out to people, introduce
Yeah.
myself. I think many people, it's like very difficult for them to do that. And that's like very scary. Like if I didn't have the ability to do that, it would be like, I can't imagine what high school would have been like for me. It would have been very hard. And it's really like you're on
Yeah.
your own. And a lot of times financially, you're on your own.
Right. That's
At
another thing. I
14.
mean, I was gonna say like it's interesting when it comes to finance with families where like yeah, you need to have your finances figured out before you have a big family. But if you're able to give your kids everything, then there is that like kind of fear of not teaching them like this work ethic. And I feel like you have like such a good work ethic because you had to like literally grind since you were 14
Right.
years old.
Right.
Like and same for me pretty much. I mean, obviously I was still living at home and stuff, so it's like different. But like by the time I was 18 years old, I had to start like buying my own things. Like whatever money I earned, that's what money I had to like spend, you know?
Right.
So it comes with this like this pro that like is awkward to talk about because it's like, oh, you're not providing for your children, but also like I feel like it comes with like the greatest pro ever where you just like you learn this that you have to earn your earn like you have to earn what you get.
Right. And I also think there's a difference between not being able to provide and just not being able to provide luxury. I think like a
Right.
lot of people have like this idea that the perfect life is like a life of like luxurious items, luxurious things, cars and everything. Like, I don't think that's like the perfect, I don't think that's
Right.
like considered providing, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Right. So there's just like the basic, like also, I never understood with celebrities why they don't do that. They don't like get like a normal home and give their kids like obviously a good education and all that stuff, but like just normal so that their kids can learn like normal life. Like, you know, like all these, like it was like Tom Brady in an interview. He was saying how, he, his biggest like struggle with having so much money. Well, everyone was making fun of it because like, okay, boo, like okay, you have money, like who cares? But he was
right.
saying that like he can't like teach his kids about real life, and like everyone's like, okay, so then get a normal home, like don't give them everything that they want, like, and then you'll
Right.
teach them. I feel like that makes like it's surprising to me why that
But I
celebrities
also,
just because they
right.
have all that money they give everything to their kids, you know?
But it's also like, I think a vicious cycle because I think like, let's say if you're a celebrity, your child can't go to a normal school. So they end up going to a bougie school. And to fit into a bougie school, you need like these bougie
Right.
items. And it just like, they don't know where to stop or where to start, you know, like it just,
True.
I don't know. I
Do you
think
think
it's
if a
like,
celebrity's kids, like if they don't really publicize their kids, do you think they can't go to like a normal school?
I think like it's very hard. I think the minute someone will find out, like
Right.
imagine we found out like we saw a classmate and like their dad came once into school, like we figured out who they are,
Right. It's like The
like they're
Rock.
done, they're
Her
done
father's The
for.
Rock.
Yeah, it's so random.
I don't know why that's the first celebrity that came into my head.
Wow, that is really random. Yeah.
Anyways,
How do we get
so
to that?
anyways,
Oh,
back to shlichus.
right.
um,
By the way, I think it's so
so we
ironic that it's like always like,
what?
I think it's like I've never, it's always like the people with money that are like, money doesn't buy happiness. Like you never hear like a broke person saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
exactly,
this is to
exactly.
like level.
It's like, oh,
Okay.
I could have the money, you know, I'll have it.
Yeah.
But I told you this, but like when I posted one of the reels and somebody was like, "Ew, those lips" or something, that was like the first hate comment.
I remember
That was
I
the
got
first hate
so
comment I
angry
got.
when I saw that.
Everyone got so for the first like hour of me receiving that comment, I was like literally having full blown anxiety, and I was like, oh my god, this like you know, and also I got like what 5,000 views on that reel, and I thought I was the most famous person. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like,
That's
this
it.
fame is
I'm the
not
next trend.
worth it. I'm like, this fame is not worth it. Kim Kardashian probably feels this every day. I don't know how she deals with it.
The paparazzi
I'm
is just
kidding.
too much.
It's too much. Please go away from my home. And I was literally comparing myself to Kim K.
Kim K.
But like I feel like I got like a tiny sliver of what it's like to be famous, and I don't really want that to be TBH. But like you do want that, and at the same time, I don't know.
Right.
Like I wonder if there's any celebrity out there who like has got it under control. I don't know.
I think it's really hard. I think like they can't control it because it's like what the society wants, not them.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying though. Like the attention, like I remember like when I was like in China, like everyone was like curly hair, blue eyes. They were used to it. They would like take pictures, and I literally felt like I was on top of the world. I was like, this is it. This is my new lifestyle. I'm not leaving China. But I remember
some controversial thing comes out and you like make a statement, like
pulls out podium.
People are looking at me.
No, honestly. Yeah. But then I remember like my cousins and I were like at like this random garden in China in like Beijing, and like we were trying to eat, and like these two boys like behind the tree are like sneaking pictures of us, and I'm
no way.
And I'm like, I can't anymore. I'm like,
girl, just get food in peace.
Exactly. I was like, boys, stop it. I can't. And then I was like, who do I think I am?
That is so funny.
But yeah.
That is actually so, like because you didn't look like a Chinese person, they were taking photos.
No, I think it's because of like, we all had curly hair, and curly hair is not off. Like, no, in Shanghai, there's like a lot of like study abroad students, like people are like, are used to it, like normally, but like in the old city of Beijing, like no, they barely see like blue eyes, like curly hair. Like for them, like you're already a celebrity. Right. You're like the American TV show. Like you're like, they think you're actually famous in America because it's so like foreign to them.
That's so funny.
Like people, like when we went to like the old like towers that the kings used to live in, like people were literally lining up and would just dump their kids on us and like literally just like take pictures.
No way.
Yeah, no,
it was. You were just like a prop.
Yeah, they literally like. It's
like,
crazy.
I do remember when we were in Thailand, there were a bunch of people taking photos with us.
See, it was probably like not the.
Do you remember?
I can't remember actually.
We were flying out like in the oh my god, I actually remember this because
in the airport.
In the airport, like we literally were.
Team.
Yeah, people were like taking photos with us. I'm like, what is going on? Also,
I was so exhausted. It was 1 a.m.
I think we stayed up all night. Yeah,
it was like 2 a.m. at that point because we were leaving from Bangkok. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing this video. It's kind of on topic, but so random, of Joe Rogan, a celebrity. Sometimes randomly I'll search up on YouTube like Joe Rogan paparazzi, like just to see like how does he act. So this guy comes up to him and he's like with another comedian. He's like, hey, what's up? And Joe Rogan like full on was like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're like coming up to me. Like, he was actually being really rude. And the guy's like, well, this is how I make a living. Like, you know, like you like, and he's like, okay, fine, you're right. I don't know. He's like, I'm sorry for yelling at you. But it was just interesting to see like. I guess once like it's probably like it's how we felt times 10. You know what I'm saying? Every time they fly at 1 a.m., they have to deal with like people taking photos of them.
Yeah, and I'm just like thinking like imagine like we were also like in a really good mood when we were doing it. Like imagine like being like in a really bad mood and like having to like just like smile and pretend like you're the best. Like everything's 100% perfect when you're like literally life is like shattered into pieces. Like I could not like.
Oh no, I watched this. Okay, one more thing on this. I watched a TV show, Pam and Tommy. Did you watch it?
Pam, don't know.
It's about like Pamela Anderson, whatever, and Tom, I forgot his name. Anyways, they portrayed like this celebrity lifestyle and how everyone was like, there was always paparazzi around them. So like they would get into like the biggest fight and they're just trying to like figure things out, and suddenly like people are around them taking videos and photos. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so
right.
But then at the same time, like, okay, they're celebrities. Like we put things into perspective.
Right.
Anyways, okay, so advantages, I guess we said were like, you get to, well, we didn't, I don't know if we covered all the advantages. I think one of them is also like, advantages of being on shlichus is like meeting new people, and also meeting people that don't live the same lifestyle as you.
Right.
Which I think that like, I don't know if that's like, meaning a lot of like old school people in the Chabad community are very much into like keeping yourself insular. But then at the same time, you go to all these Chabad houses and there's just so many people who are not religious, semi-religious, traditional, come from different things. You know what I'm saying? Like you do expand your like perspective on things when you're able to talk to these people.
Right. No, it definitely does. I definitely see like only perks of like being open-minded, like meeting this. I think it's like, you even see like when you're going out in the world, like you're also, I think the disadvantages like turn into advantages. Like you're forced to literally introduce yourself to people. But at the end, like you have like these crazy skills that you get. Like if I wasn't forced to like speak in public, I think my life would be very different. My job would be very different. Like the things I do would be very different. I think it's like when you're forced to do like these things that it's so out of your comfort zone, but you like keep like flexing that muscle, I guess. Like I think that really creates like leadership skills.
Yeah.
Like going up to random people and be like, hi, are you Jewish? Like it's really awkward and uncomfortable. Like it's not like
it's really awkward.
Until like,
and people get upset at you.
Yeah. People are like, who do you think you are? Like, no. And like, at least like, I think like my brothers have to like wrap tefillin, like wrapping like random straps, like around the person's arm. I'm like, what in the world?
Right.
Like, they probably look crazy, but like, you don't care. Like, you have a, like, this is what's important for you, you take care of. You don't take no as an answer, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, oh, and above that, like beyond that, there's also just like being able to see other, I think expanding perspective, like like even if you have like a lot of questions on religion, you don't know if you want to be religious, let's say, right?
Right.
But like, or you think like maybe I'm living in this like I just want to know the other side. You're able to be exposed to that, and it's not so extreme. It's not so closed off.
Right.
You're like exposed to a different type of life, so you're not like I feel like when you have one extreme, when you go to one extreme and then you're exposed to the other side, you go all the way to the other extreme, you know?
Right.
Like when people like they say with kids, like if you don't expose them to any candy or any sugar because you want them to be healthy, the second they're going to discover it, they're going to have an unhealthy relationship with it. They're going to think it's like the most amazing thing in the
Right.
world. Versus if you like put it in front of them together with broccoli, it's like on equal playing field. So like whatever, it's the same thing. Whatever. So that's just an example of how like I feel like being exposed to like this, you're out there, you're seeing other perspectives of life. You're not just like in this like one like in Crown Heights where everybody's like the same way, you know?
Right. You definitely have like a healthy balance. And it's so funny. I always thought it was so ironic, like growing up when like people would come to me and they're like, you don't know anything, like you live under a rock. I'm like, talking about being
Right.
closed off, that's a very closed off thing to say to somebody. I'm like, you don't even
Right.
know how it
First
is,
of
like
all.
how I live in my Hasidic community. Like, why
Yeah.
don't, like the same way I'm asking you and I'm opening myself up to you, like, why don't you do that vice
Right.
versa? It always bothered me. And like,
So
and
true.
it's so funny how shocked people are. Like when we travel, like we've traveled a lot, like around the world.
Yeah.
And like people are like, "What? You're religious? No way! You're too normal." And I'm like, I was
Right.
like, "Who do you
No, it's
think?
so
How can
true.
you say something like that?"
Especially especially when it comes to Israelis, because I feel like they have a really like
Right,
specific way of thinking about like Haredi people, like really religious
right.
people, you
Like
know?
I think it's cool. Like I actually think like we personally have broke the ice on so many stereotypes as we were traveling. I really do think
Yeah,
that. I
for
really
sure.
think people came to terms with like, oh, they're like, you're not crazy. You're a human. They don't have horns. Like
Yeah.
surprise, surprise. You know,
Right.
like it's yeah, it's literally crazy. Like it's just so
Yeah.
funny the way like
In general, traveling is like it's like such a good. Sorry,
no no
finish what
no
you're saying.
no continue.
No, I was just gonna say in general, traveling is such a helpful tool in life. I think traveling is so important. Just to like be exposed to other cultures, to meet just like new people, like the amount of openness that I feel when I'm home and I'm doing my like daily routine, I have no time to talk to anybody. I'm doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but when I'm traveling, I'm just like open and free and like just talking to anybody that comes in. It's like it's such an important thing to do.
Wow, yeah, I totally agree. It's kind of like shlichus, like just like more expanded into like a like
Right.
that you're going out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone. You have to figure things out on your own. Like you're living on a
Yeah.
budget. Like it literally is. Like your life is like
You have to like fend for
yeah,
yourself.
you really do.
It's actually crazy that you left home so early.
Yeah, there's a lot of pros,
That's a
but there's
lot
a
of
lot of cons. Like you
yeah.
grow up too fast, but like you get the experience much faster than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Like I
Right.
even think it was so funny. Sorry, were you about to say something?
No, no,
I
go ahead.
think something like for me was like I always thought it was like so silly. Like I speak to people like in their 20s and they're like, "You have a credit card? Like how do you open that up?" And like it like for me,
Right.
I was just like,
You do
"Yeah,
laundry?
you too
Like
lunch." Like I yeah, it's so funny. Like just to like hear that, and I was like, okay, I guess I did grow up fast. Like you know,
right. Yeah. Well, also like what was I going to say? Um oh, that was going to be one of the things I was talking about with like cons with shulchas, like a lot of people, especially like you're on shulchas, your family's on shulchas in
yeah,
Florida. Mine is in Manhattan, which is like very normal like Jewish centered
right. You're
communities where like
connected,
maybe like yeah, like it's not like you're in some random place. You were able to go to like a Jewish girls elementary school, you know, with other
right?
people. Some people are in like the randomest places that like they don't even go, they go to like online school. So they're not, or they're homeschooled. So they're not interacting with people. And then like they leave home from when they're 14 years old and they come to high school and like it's just like it's like a huge shock for them. I don't know. Like I feel like that's one of the things where like people have to consider when it comes to going to like really random places. I know I can never do it.
Right. I really think
Like,
not everyone can do it.
do you think it's selfish in a way?
It's like interesting because like again, like we've been around the world and we've seen, let's say, like even like in China or in Thailand, like I
Right.
see like these kids and like they're really like secluded, I guess, but like they're learning online, you know, it's like online school and like
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, it is like really hard to understand. And like, I think like them as a young age, they have to like really, I think like the parents have to explain to them, like, it's like the bigger picture. Cause if not, I feel like even when you do explain the like bigger picture of like what our life is about and everything, I think that's hard enough for a child. But like sometimes I look at like children, I'm
Yeah.
like, if they don't understand, I'm like, it's like crazy.
Right. I guess like there's no, I mean, because also then like we benefit off of these like Chabad houses in random
Right.
places because we go traveling to Thailand or to like South America, and we're able to like have kosher food and a place to spend
Right.
Shabbos. So it's like so it's like we really benefit off. But like when I see these kids, like I don't know, like
Yeah.
also when you think about the whole story with Mumbai, like so where there were these shluchim there, and it was in India, Mumbai, India, and they basically had like a terrorist
Right.
attack and they killed them. Like they killed the parents, and I think how many kids did they have?
I don't remember.
But I know one of the kids survived. He was like 2 years old. They're like in a like nanny, the one that was taking care of him, was able to save him. But like that's something where you're like if they weren't there, like if they were just in a safer place, like what would what would be different? Like they would have a family, their kids wouldn't be killed. I don't know. It's just like obviously you never know when
Right.
these situations
You're
are
right.
going
It
to
could,
happen.
exactly. It's very scary. And like it could happen anywhere, but like, yeah, it is very scary going out like in the middle of nowhere and like really like you are dedicating your life to like, I guess like the greater good you can say, but you're also dedicating your kid's life. And you didn't
Right.
like, they were never really asked. So
Right.
yeah, it is like a very like, it's very hard for me like when I talk about this because
Yeah.
let's say I'm so thankful the way I grew up with everything. I'm obviously not comparing myself to someone in Thailand or like in Asia where they have a lot less than I have just because like even simple things as
Yeah.
like kosher food. But like, but it's like the same thing. Like if I was asked, what would I say? But because I wasn't asked, like maybe that's why I have like the life I have and the skills I have, you
Right.
know?
I mean, I guess when you think about it, like there's so many things we aren't asked. Like,
Right.
like how many things impact us of what our parents do, but like it's not like we have a choice in them. I guess like people just have to accept that like kids don't have a choice in the matter in regards to like what their parents do or how they're affected by their parents. I don't know. I just think like that's such a clear cut like thing, but then there wouldn't be Chabad houses in any of those places. I don't know. But I feel like if it's like an outrightly dangerous place to be in, then like maybe don't do it,
Right.
I feel like that's one big con that there is about like people that shlichus mentality of just like you're doing it because it's like your mission and this is what you got to do, but then like you're also putting your kids' lives in danger. Like also that you remember we went to Ukraine
Yeah.
and we met a shlicha who spoke to us about she was in I forgot the city that they were in, but she was talking about how like when she went there like literally there was nothing there for her, and like the KGB was like spying on her calls and like I don't know, like
Well,
crazy
yeah,
stuff. Like
she
they didn't
had
have
like
like a
a
normal
crazy
life.
guy try to like light her place on fire or something.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Oh my God. And like now I think like it's better there. I mean, obviously now I don't know what's going on with the war. They probably went to Israel or something. I'm
Right.
not sure. But
But at the same time, like if it's your
like just
normalcy,
that
like
like
is it that crazy for you? Like, yeah, I think basic needs are something
right.
that like always have to be covered no matter what the situation. Like I think if someone's born and they don't have the like accessibility to like clothes and food and all the simple things like that, then it's never
Yeah.
okay. But I'm just like wondering, like I look at these kids and they're like powerful kids. Like they
True.
stand up, they say what they want to say, they're extremely confident and like and I'm like, okay, like
Right.
they don't know, like obviously I'm sure they going if they could go to like a physical school and be with like 100 Jewish religious girls, I'm sure that would be like an extra plus. But I'm like,
Right.
but they're fine, like they're doing great,
But they have other things that they're
right?
like
Like
getting,
they're
that they're
right, and they also
gaining.
they're with
Yeah.
literally talking about like we have like hundreds, like these people like all over the world have thousands of people every Friday night. Like I remember when we were in Thailand, they literally had shifts for the
Right.
Friday night meals because it was like
They had three
and each
Friday
one
night
at least
meals,
had
right? With
100
500
people,
people
at least
each.
100 people. Definitely Chiang Mai
Yeah.
had like 300 people that night, like hands down. And like, so growing up
Yeah.
with that is also like, that's like they're normal. They're with people all the time, like things like that. So it's like funny,
Right.
like it's like hard to understand,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like it's their normal. In the same way, like the way I grew up, like for people, I
Right.
guess people can't imagine it, but like that was my normalcy. Like this is what I know.
Right. Yeah, I guess like like even let's say for example people in our community leave home very early. Even the boys, when they go away to yeshiva, they're leaving home at like 16, and in the secular world that's like the craziest thing. But with us, people just adapt to it, and it's like the way life is, so it works out. Like I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about like if they would send their kids away, if their kid was like really passionate about a certain sport and they can go to this boarding school to like explore that like art or sport or whatever it is, would they send their kids away? And they were having like a whole debate, and like one guy was saying like I would never do that. Like I need my kid like from till they're like 18, they can't do like proper decisions, like I need them next to me. And the other guy was saying like I would totally, and I'm like, I was like laughing, I'm like, wow, this is like, it's not even about like pursuing a sport in our community, it's like literally just like go to school, you know what I'm saying? Like people are doing that all the time. So I don't know, like, but like but it does happen where like some people can't handle it. Like there are some people who, because they're away from home, they're just doing whatever they want. They don't have parental supervision. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
no,
yeah.
I agree. I definitely think that like you cannot have one way of life for an entire community. Like I think you have to like, it really depends on each child. Like if your child can't handle it, then you do have to figure out a different solution. Like it doesn't work for every kid. It doesn't. Like it worked for me, but like, you know, it doesn't, I know people who really struggled with this, like in school, like they really didn't have the support they needed. And some people makes them independent. Sometimes it puts them into fear. Like you either freeze or like conquer, you know? And like,
or some people like, they get into trouble also.
It's literally like people are lost. Like it's.
I guess I don't know like if there's like a clear-cut solution then. I guess it's just like if you do decide to do this like path, just know that there's those I think being aware of like those obstacles. So just like know like, oh, you're gonna have to send your kids away early, like maybe that's something you want to think about, and like how you're gonna deal with it, you know?
And I think something like at least I was thankful for like that balance, but like I think it's also important to have in mind that like it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's really like your life. Like people are calling you at like 3 a.m. literally like calling, screaming, crying, having a mental breakdown or like addiction. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you're getting these calls at all times of the night. But
wait, you were saying that your father gets like these calls, right? Like randomly.
Yes, and I thought
you'll be with him, and
it's just so funny. I was actually like thinking like you have to be like a rabbi, a mentor, a therapist, a like couples like therapy, like everything. Like you literally like it's like everything away. But I was like the way I was thinking is that like you have to remember like your kids come first. Even after these 3 a.m.s, even if like your phone is buzzing like the entire day. Like it's literally not like some days, especially like before holidays, it's nonstop buzzing. Like it really is like people around, they just like need your help, whether it's like the hospital or like the neighborhood or a new person coming into town. I think it's something that like your kids come first. Like you could bring your kids into the situation, ask them to help or like whatever. Like for me, that was like a big opportunity. Like I remember the first party I ever planned. I was 12 and my father said, "You're running the whole thing." And I was like terrified. I was like, I'm a 12-year-old person. Like I'm picking the theme. I'm putting the orders in. I'm like calling the people. I remember, oh my God, this was actually a really funny story that happened.
I'm just like trying to imagine like a 12-year-old.
This is so funny. Okay. So as a 12-year-old, I was obsessed with Slurpees. So my father's like, "You're making the perm party. What do you want the theme?" I still am. Like I haven't changed.
You're like as a 12-year-old.
Frozen Gushers and Slurpee. Heaven. But basically it's like my guilty pleasure. But basically I remember I wanted the theme of my perm party and my shul and my community. It was to be 7-Eleven. Everyone's gonna get like a huge big gulp. Everyone's gonna get like I wanted a Slurpee machines. I wanted like everyone to have like their name tags. It was so the nerdiest thing ever. But as a 12-year-old, like that's what I care about. Like don't pretend it's cute. It's so
Also, like, what did you think the budget was? Like, let's get like the entire 7-Eleven.
No, so we set up a meeting with me and then the manager of 7-Eleven, but I didn't set. Yes,
no way.
And then this was like crazy, and like I remember they thought it was like this like. I was like as like a 12-year-old, just like, yeah, I work for a nonprofit organization. I have like a party to plan, and they literally thought I was like, I don't know, 30 something or whatever. They come and they see like a little 12-year-old like.
Like pigtails.
Like
I want Slurpees at my party.
I'm here for the meeting with the manager, and I remember the worker was looking at me. They're like, "Get out of my face!" I was like, "I have a meeting with the manager. The name is Mushkie." Like
that is so funny.
You just froze out. Oh no, you're good. What did you say? Do you hear me? Yeah, do you hear me?
Mushkie? Oh, you froze for a second. You said you came up to them and you said you have a meeting with the manager.
I have a meeting with the manager, and they literally thought it was a joke. And like, I think they were so shocked at the idea of a 12-year-old like running it made no sense. Like,
right.
like even like in the position I was in, like even the people who are in the same position as me, like did not understand what was going on. Like, and I remember like they were just so shocked. They ended up giving me like free, like, like those cups that are like reusable, that are like movie themed. So they gave us like, every single kid got like a shlichus manis and like that free cup. I got my whole family like aprons with I made them personalize our names. They gave us personalized names, hats, everything. Like I literally got like, everyone got like, we got like I don't know if we got a machine, like we had to kosher. I don't remember how we did that, but everything, like all the napkins, we got all their cutlery, so everything 7-Eleven. It was like the nerdiest, I think, prom party that ever happened in America. But like,
that actually sounds like,
as a 12-year-old, I was like having a blast, and like, it was just so funny.
Wow. So like you're there, like that's something that like that's crazy that you learned that at 12 years old.
It's literally
to
crazy.
Do something like that.
It was so funny.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's really cool that you took that upon also. Like if my father said like, oh, you're running, I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. No, like I did not have a choice. Like,
I'm actually
why do you keep going out?
Right.
Wait, you keep going out. I'm sorry. Oh, now I see. You see me? You're going to have to do so much editing on this video.
I feel
it's so weird. I have like 3 bars.
Yeah.
What did you... What? No, I was just wondering what you... like things you've done that you think that it's because your shlichus life kind of like pushed you to do it.
Yeah. I think first of all, working hard, like to do, because you're not living in like, you're definitely living in more of like obviously I got my basic needs growing up, but like you're not living a rich lifestyle. So I think like, but I literally, like, everyone had a smartphone in school, but like I only got one once I was like in 12th grade, which like, it's weird because you would think someone would be like mortified of that, but I literally couldn't care less. Like there would be all this like drama on these like WhatsApp. I remember when WhatsApp came out, like everyone had WhatsApp groups, and I just had.
How old were you when you got your?
When I got a smartphone? Oh, when I was in 12th grade, that's when I got my smartphone.
What?
Isn't that
There's
crazy?
No way. We definitely were WhatsApping each other before 12th grade. No. I had
shocked. A flip phone.
Wait. I'm so curious. Talk about that. How is that for you?
Wait, when did you get a smartphone?
Oh, girl. I got it, what was I? 8th grade, maybe?
Oh,
I remember me from, we're like, oh, who's getting it? I remember I got my first phone and she got her first smartphone. It was like a whole big thing. Like, who's getting these first?
Whoa, 8th grade. That's young.
7th grade, maybe? I don't remember. Yeah.
That's young. Nowadays, like everyone's getting it once they're like in 6th grade. I don't know.
Yeah, my sisters got it. So young. Yeah. It's also different. Like you live in a community where you're able to walk around. Like me, I always like needed to wait for my parents. I always had to reach my parents, like, going into a carpool. I went away for like every other weekend. Like it was very different.
Yeah. No, so I mean, I guess like for me, it was like you have to pay for your own smartphone if you want one. So like it was a lot of money. I mean, I guess I babysat a lot, but like I was like, I was only able to buy one in 12th grade. But yeah, I remember there would be like, I remember there's a WhatsApp group with all our friends, and there was like one time there was like drama happening, and I was on the phone with Goldie, and we were like, she was like updating me as it was going on. She's like, yeah, this person said this, this person said that. Were you on our WhatsApp group in high school? I can't remember.
You know how many WhatsApp groups there were in high school?
Right.
Like
I don't remember if I was on a WhatsApp group with you, or we only became like really close later. Whatever.
No, you were close before Israel.
Yeah, we were close. I don't know if you were on. Well, I only got my smartphone in 12th grade, so that's.
I'm shocked. I clearly did not know that, so we clearly were not good enough friends.
Right. No, I still remember it was like a blue, and I remember we had to give in our phones in high school. We had to put it away before, like every day before school. And one time, I think I forgot my phone there overnight. And like, I guess I didn't need it. Like, I didn't really care about it. And they thought I was giving in a fake phone, which a lot of people would do because but that's how like dumb my phone was, that I didn't even need it. And I was like, no, that's actually my phone. I just left it here overnight.
Right.
You know, like most people wouldn't leave their smartphone overnight, you know? You're like, what's going on?
That is so funny.
And then I remember in 12th grade when I had my smartphone, it was like last period was davening. So like we would, on Sundays.
Oh.
So like on Sunday, I would just take my phone before davening, and then like it was in the shul, so I would just leave. And so I took it like a period early, basically. And the principal took it away from me. She's like, I'm gonna have to take. I'm like, you're not taking that phone away from me. Like I need my phone, and like, I paid for it, literally. You're not taking it. She gave it back to me in the end. Anyways, what were we talking about?
So many things. Literally so many things.
Just like having to work, I guess, for yourself. I don't know. Like it's one of those things that mind boggle me. How like everyone wants financial security for their kids, and I also do. But there's something about like, obviously your kids getting everything that they need, but like obviously your kids getting everything they need to survive and to live like a good life, like a comfortable, so to speak, life. But like to not get everything and to have to work on their own, I feel like create the most hardworking people. And like people who actually understand what like struggles are, Right.
By the way, just thinking out loud here, like, no, continue.
That's it, yeah.
Sorry, you cut off, so sometimes I only hear you, like, I realize you're mid-sentence, like, after.
No, it's fine.
So what were you saying? No, I was just thinking that, like, I think another thing about it is that when you dedicate something to so much, like nowadays, like you hear it's like a new thing that like people are like saying on podcasts that like, you have to have a passion. If you're in it just for the money, it's like never going to work. And I think that's something that like you actually grow up with. It's like money's not involved in like your goal at all. Like obviously you need the money to get to your goal, but like you really have to believe in what you do. Like, and I think the hardest in life is like when you like literally your whole life is there and you have nothing else. And then like when you question it, I think that's like one of the scariest moments someone can have in life. Cause it's not just like what you do, it's who you are. Like, it's like literally how like you literally have an identity crisis when like something goes in your work goes wrong, because like it's not just your work, it's your passion, it's your being, it's everything you live for. So I think that like when also having that instilled, like even as a work environment, like it's not about the money, like it's a means to an end. Like you're gonna get the money for your passion. Like it can't be the other way. You can't have a passion for money. It will never work. It will literally never work.
So this reminds me of Mr. Beast on YouTube.
Yeah. He amazes me.
Yeah, so I know he's so cool. But like when he talks about like how he started off, he says how like his goal was to make the best YouTube videos ever and like just to like keep people entertained. And still, I think till today, I mean, now he probably has like tons of money, but I think like up until recently, he was reinvesting all his money back into his YouTube videos. He didn't care about the money. I mean, he even talks about it now, how like he has like a normal home. He has a Tesla because of environmental things, but he doesn't like go crazy on Lamborghinis and like crazy trips and stuff like that. He just like, he doesn't like need that luxurious lifestyle because like he's happy in what he found his passion in what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, he like lives in a tiny house, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen his house, but like,
I was there. No, he talks about it. He talks about it on a podcast, I think.
Yeah, he went on Joe Rogan, so maybe that's where you heard it. But yeah, he was talking about how like he just lives like normally. And I think he was able to become so big because it was all just about the video, not really about the money that was making it. So like, it was just like in the ground, he was just enjoying it as he was doing it, But yeah, I think that's so true. It's not about the money. It's about like the passion and the goal and the vision. So like, and that's another advantage, I think, seeing our parents maybe like dedicate themselves to something and like seeing them be such hard workers makes you want to do it,
Right. It's interesting because I think like everyone like now, like it's come to a time where everyone's like, honestly, like they don't even care about the work anymore. They're like quickest way to make money. Like we literally came to a point where we're selling like cartoon monkeys, like just to, like forget about passion.
Is that you're saying NFTs?
Yeah. Like I'm just saying like NFT, not the NFTs, like whatever, like the same thing, like stocks or anything, but like, I'm just like saying it's like the whole concept of like having no passion. Yeah. Like, it's just like,
it's also the concept of like, things are not like quick fixes. Like even dieting, like it doesn't work that like you're going to take a special pill and that's it. Like the best results come out of actually putting hard work into things.
Right.
But like, and sometimes those results are not in the form of money. And that's, I think, a big thing about shlichus. It's like, you're not getting money out of it. You're never really, I mean, there are some shlichim out there who like, if they live in rich communities, they make a lot of money. I don't know, but that's not the outcome that you're looking for. You're looking to inspire lives and to all those things. So like, it's, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, there's no like quick fix to it. It's not like this, you have to really put the grind into it.
Right.
Versus when like you're doing something for the money, maybe you could be like, oh, quick fix. Maybe if I like, I don't know.
Right. You're also not working with like technology. You're actually working with like humans and like their daily problems and like life and like the way you receive is like what you give. It's like your way of receiving. Like
that's another thing. You're like dealing with like people day to day. And even now, like I'm older, so I'm able to connect to people in my Chabad house. And we do have like more students, so people who are like recurring, like coming back. And like every week I'm just talking to people, hanging out with people, like seeing different perspectives on life. Like that's really cool.
Right. Like I don't think people realize the extent of what an impact like the tiniest thing could have. I think like if someone gets a chance to see the fruit of their labor, especially if they grew up like this type of thing where you see someone depressed and like you're calling them every day and you actually see like them, like you see the difference, like it's happening. But like, I think just like besides like when you have the shlichus life, you see it more, but even like going like out into like world, like you actually like, there's so many stories where like I see where people like, let's say in my community, just like a small smile and just like a quick small talk, like you're not even getting deep with them like that. Like for some people, like that's all they have. Like that made their week. That made like, you know, that's what keeps them going. Like it was just a small talk that I did on a Saturday when I was in the, you know, when I went to my synagogue, the shul, and like, you know, so I think like even when like, I think people don't realize it. Like people do not realize what a smile could do.
Like you see like influencers on Instagram, and that's not like a bad thing. Obviously, do whatever you think is enjoyable. But like influencers on Instagram who like claim to be like so inspirational and try to like put inspirational stuff versus like this type of job where you're out there grinding and really being like one-on-one with people, I feel like is like, and you're not getting recognition for it.
Not at all.
Like nobody's like giving you a shout out or like you're not becoming famous or making tons of money off of it. Like it's literally just about the help that you're giving to other people, which is crazy to me. Yeah. That's crazy. I guess like my only thing is like when people don't take into account like the fact like going to like places that literally have no civilization and they're just like dedicating themselves to it. And it's like, whoa, like, and you're having kids and all that. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like people have to like think about that before.
Right. But on the other hand, it's actually also crazy to like watch how people literally have built empires. Like when we went to Ukraine, like, and we went, remember where we were in Dnieper, they started with nothing and they had 7 buildings. They had a restaurant. They created an empire. Like, it's crazy that when they're like, necessity is just like the creation of like, you know, how they say it's the creator of invention. Like, you're stuck with this. You have a goal. You have to get it done. You don't have a choice. Like, but yeah, everything has 2 sides to it. Like, there's never one thing. Like, and the more extreme you get with your lifestyle, the more extreme the pros and the cons are. Like the more for, you know, like the empire is like greater, but you're also like, again, in the middle of Ukraine. Like, your
kids are like, would you ever do shlichus?
It's so funny. I ask myself this every day. Like, I definitely think in my work, like with what I'm doing is another aspect of like shlichus. Like I do. Wait,
so could you explain what you're doing?
Yeah, you do. Am I blurring out again? Do you hear me?
No, I see. I hear you and I see you. Yeah. Why am I blurring out?
Sometimes, but it's fine. I hear you though. So I just want to make sure it's not like whatever. So I work for Olive Institute, where basically they're like, it's like really like no Jewish souls like left behind. So it's specifically within like prison and within like the military. It's with either people that were sentenced unjustly, like being there for them, helping their family, getting like the needs they help, or like once they're like out to help them like start their, like literally holidays in any way possible. Really just being there for people. Like there's like I work under like really great people. Like the people that I work for like actually like don't sleep and all they do is like answer people's phone calls and literally just help them. So yeah, I think like it's like now I can't live without, like I can't just do a regular job where I'm not helping people. I would go crazy. Like I need it. I need to know that like I'm
now doing this. Like you need to feel like
like now I can't go to a job where I'm not like I also like in a selfish way, like I want to see the fruit of my, like, you know, the fruit of my labor where it's like, you want to see like, wow, like this person actually got help. Oh, I got another person to therapy. Like, wow, like I'm really, you know?
Yeah. The thing is like about selfishness is that like there's 2 types of selfishness. There's like the one selfish when I think like when you're like insecure. So like helping other people chips away from you. Helping other people means that I'm giving of myself.
Right.
But then there's that other type of selfishness where like helping other people uplifts me, gives back to me. And I don't think that's bad in any way. Like, I think everybody's selfish, and everyone's gonna, if giving to other people didn't feel good, we wouldn't give, in my opinion. So, like, I think, like, as long as the action is being done, like, that's what matters, you know?
Right. At the end of the day, you're still helping people and you're changing a life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's, at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. So, like,
right.
It doesn't matter if it makes you feel good, that just means that, like, I think that makes you a more wholesome person, because you're able to, you don't feel like somebody's taking away from you just because you're giving to them.
Right.
Know?
And by the way, it becomes like a muscle. It's like trained. I remember, like, once you start doing this, like, I don't know if I like told you like this whole story where I met someone in the mall, like, she started crying, and like now it's just like, okay, I have to go out for coffee with her. I have to make sure she's like okay. It's like this whole
right.
like thing where it's like it becomes like
you're stuck.
Yeah, it's like stuck, but it's also like this is like you're like I have to help them. Like now, like I can't leave this person alone. Like for me,
right.
like
it puts you in this like mindset.
What? Oh, not again.
It puts you in. Do you hear me?
Yes, Rivka, I'm so sorry. I'll help you edit.
No, it's fine. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yes, I hear you. What was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're in that mindset. Like it's what you see now. Like you're just like exercising that part of your brain that like you're like you see people who need help and you're like you're out there to help them.
And you can always give even when really you don't cool. Like it used to always bug me. I don't know why when my father like in front of like 7-Eleven talking about 7-Eleven again. It's a trait of our family.
You're always talking about 7-Eleven.
No, like he used to literally like anytime like there was a lot of homeless people in front and he would like buy them all drinks and food and he used to like drive me crazy. Like it would bother me, but like at a certain point I'm like, this is what like pure compassion looks like. It doesn't matter what they like. It doesn't matter whether they're like right now they need a drink. Right now they need food. And like,
yeah,
it's funny. Like even when you hate, it grows on you. Like now I see these people. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go. Everyone like,
what do you want?
Yeah, okay, hot dog.
I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah. Okay, I guess let's just sum up our main points and then we could play the game of, I was thinking of playing a game where like we can think of like the randomest cities, but I don't know how it would, and like see if there's a Chabad there, because sometimes like when you talk about certain places that have Chabad, people are like, what? That place has a Chabad?
Right.
But I don't know if that's a fun game for people to listen to.
Like honestly, every place we're gonna say says yes. I can't think of
you think so?
I can't think of a place that doesn't have one.
Let me think of a random place. I'm gonna search up random cities.
I feel like we spoke about so much. Like I feel like we got so off topic. Like I feel like there's so much more to say.
Say what else? What else? Say.
I don't know. Let me think.
Let's see. Random city generator. Okay, Las Vegas. That's not. Okay, Damascus, Syria. Do you think that has a Chabad house?
There's a whole Syrian community, a whole Jewish Syrian community. I'm sure. Actually, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I feel like they all left. But yeah, I think yes.
Yeah, they do. They do. Wow. Wait, actually, it just says Shabbat times.
Are you Chabad.org?
Well, I'm searching on Google. It just says like Chabad times.
Oh, that's why your camera is blocked by me. Okay, I guess search. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I think it's still recording by me.
No, it is. What else didn't we speak about? I feel like there's so many aspects of it.
I don't know if there's a. Let's think. Because I put down like, what's it called? I put down advantages, disadvantages. We spoke about that.
Yeah.
Would you go on it? No.
What do you?
Yes,
you didn't answer what you do.
Different style. Oh, would I? I don't think I would do the traditional route of like going out and like building up like a whole community like in some random place. But I definitely want to have that mentality. Like I grew up with that mentality, so I have it. So like I definitely want an open home. Like that was always something. Even before we went to Manhattan, like I say we started shlichus when I was like in 4th grade, but really we were really always on shlichus. Like we always had people in our home, like guests on Shabbos. My parents were always involved in the French community, helping them out with things. So we were always involved. So like I have that mindset. Like even on like Sukkot, like on the high holidays when we are home, our house has like tons of people, you know? So I definitely want to keep that mindset, but I don't know if I would, I want to do something that's like that, not that, you know, like something that's more maybe a traditional career. Like, I don't know. No, I wouldn't do that type of shlichus.
Are you scared to do like something that isn't meaningful, like as a career, or that's not something that scares you?
it's not something that scares me so much, because to me, I think that like, if I think what I'm doing is like, it feels accomplishing, then I can find meaning in other places in my life, you know? But I definitely have to find something that I enjoy a lot. Like, I can't do a job just because it pays well. I'm not going to do a job that I don't enjoy, because that like kills me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say doing this podcast, I feel like I've been like so happy because I'm doing, whenever I'm editing the podcast, publishing it, promoting it, or even just recording it. Like, those are like such, I look forward to doing it so much. But when
Right.
I do
It's the
like,
microphone for me.
that's what makes me a real podcaster.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing like my traditional 9 to 5 job that I'm doing now, like, I, no, like, it's
Go
not.
crazy. You literally go crazy.
Sometimes I go crazy. Like, it's like, wow. But also, like, in the beginning, it was fine. Like, maybe because the podcast is new, but I don't,
Right.
like, I do get bored of things really easily. It's a problem. Sometimes I think I have ADHD. I don't
No,
know.
if it doesn't, I feel it's because like you feel it's a little meaningless.
Yeah. I think like I'm not connecting with people. I'm like, but it's also like, it's a good source of income, I guess, for now. And like, it's a good, it's not bad, but it's just like, yeah, that's definitely something that I can't do for the rest of my life at all. And I don't understand. Some
You
people in
would
that
go
office have,
crazy.
no, literally, some people in that office have been there for like 10 years.
How? How?
And I don't understand how, but also like, I mean, obviously I don't think people would be doing something that's making them miserable. They're obviously like good with it and they enjoy it, but I just don't understand.
Why?
Like,
I
if
think
I'm,
people like will get stuck in their safety net and they're scared to leave.
maybe,
I think like it's
I don't
easier
know.
when you don't have like anyone else to provide for yourself, but it's very scary when you have other people to provide for, no?
When you have other people, like when you have family, you're saying.
Yeah. Like for
Yeah,
me, I'm like, if I'm broke, I'm broke. It's fine. Like I've done this
right.
life before, you know? Like I'll just
I was
start it
gonna
up
say
again, like
that,
the same
like,
way.
yeah, I was gonna say that, like, if I'm broke but I'm doing what I love, then like, does it really matter? But then at the same
Yeah.
time, yeah, if you want to have a family, you need to have money. But even if you
Right.
have like even if I have like the basic means that I need to like start a family, and I'm not gonna live a luxurious life, but I'm doing something that I love, I would still pick that. You know,
1000%.
I
Yeah.
think, I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It drives me crazy. Just getting back to the big siblings things. I know we're off topic and you probably want to wrap it up, but just,
No, it's fine. We
um,
can go on.
no, just like another thing about like siblings, like it really bothers when people are like, aren't you upset at your parent? Like random people would be like, who are not familiar with the big community. Like, doesn't it bother you
Yeah.
have such a big family? Like they would make comments like, do you remember
Oh my
everyone's
gosh.
names or like things like that? And I was like, that's like, first of all, I'm like, no, I don't remember the names. I mix it up all the time. No, I'm kidding. But,
Yeah. Like, oh, no. Yeah.
no, but also at the same time, I was like, that's actually like the biggest blessing I think like my parents had ever given me out of
Yeah.
everything.
For
I think it
sure.
was my siblings, far down. Like I cannot think of a bigger gift in my life. I really can't.
1,000%.
And
I can't imagine having a small family.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
so nice. But like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's some of my siblings who don't like it. I don't think so though. I don't know. I'm thinking like maybe everyone's different, but like, I think that it's one of the biggest blessings that people can give. And like, so then people say like, oh, back to the financial thing. Oh, like you need to have your financial things to have a big family. But like, I don't think that's true. Like, as long as that you give them the basic means and you give them as much love as you can and discipline, like I don't think they need, like, growing up, I don't remember these material. I remember the like warmth that there was in my home. Like, I remember all the
Right.
memories that I have with my siblings. I don't remember when my mother would buy me a new dress. I don't.
Right.
Like,
It's so
that
true.
actually couldn't care
Also,
like less,
like
you know?
I would miss out. Like such a big part of my childhood was like not having my own room and just like everyone's like in my
Right.
room, like screaming, yelling, like
Oh
just
my
like
God.
games, movies, like people, everyone had like a chance with their own instrument. Like it was just
Yeah.
crazy and chaotic. But like those were my fondest memories. Like I cannot imagine
Right.
like being alone in my own room, like not having like these memories that were created just because
Yeah.
of it was just like warmth or like, you know, and
Yeah.
things
I
like
grew up,
that.
I, I shared a room with two of my sisters, so we were three in one room, and And yeah, we had like some of the funnest times like at night, just like cracking up about the randomest things. And like we would fight also. Like it doesn't mean that we never fought.
I just remember your story.
What?
Like robber.
Oh my God. One time we thought that we had like, there was like a thief in our home because we heard a noise. So me and my sister came out and we like I think we had like a broomstick maybe. And we were like, robber, where are you? Come out. I don't know how we were so brave to like go out and just like face this robber. Like, what were we thinking?
You know what's so funny?
Turns out it was like my father getting like a cup of water, but like we were like, I don't know why we thought we could fight this like thief who probably had a gun, you know?
I don't know why this story, like every time I hear it, literally, like I just start cracking up. It's the funniest thing. Like the same thing happened to like my family. Like also, like we thought we heard someone downstairs. We went downstairs, and I remember like Hazak, my brother, just screaming like, "I'm just a fat little boy. I'm just a fat little boy."
And we're like, was that supposed to be like his defense? Like
he just walked out. I couldn't breathe, and we're like, "Hazak, get it together!" Like, and like, little. First of all, it was the girls of the house that took care of the situation, but like, I could not stop laughing. Like, can you see my brother doing that? Like, he's just screaming. I remember, like, I was.
I don't know him. I can't imagine him as like he was like a small little fat kid.
No,
I only know him now.
How
old is he?
20.
No way. Oh my God. I thought he was like, no, that is so funny.
Yeah. No, or like even like when, like obviously, like what? I can't talk.
No, I'm trying to think of other like funny stories that happened while we were, oh my God. One time my sister would like always badger me how I had like, for some reason as a kid, I thought it was cool to have small handwriting. Did you go through that phase?
Wait, you just blocked out. Say it again.
Did you ever go through that phase where you thought it was cool to have like small handwriting?
Small handwriting?
Yeah. You're like, what the heck? No, I literally thought it was like so cool that I had tiny handwriting. Anyways, so one time we were sitting in my room and we were like all going to sleep, but she's like, you write so small. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't write small anymore. She literally had proof. She goes under the bed and she pulls out a paper that I wrote like in 5th grade. Like she just had it on her and she's like, I have proof. I'm like, what? That laugh that I had that night like was probably like one of my deepest laughs of my entire life.
Oh my God. One time me and my sisters were jumping in my bed and like I by mistake one of my sisters I by mistake pushed off. She has like she's gonna kill me for saying this, but her tooth, half of it's fake because I broke it.
No way. Mushkie. I didn't know you were that strong.
I know. I'm so strong. Who knew? And then my other sister, we were jumping on the bed. She like fell. She got like butterfly stitches. And the next day she fell again. It happened 3 times in a row. She got butterfly stitches. And our neighbor was like a plastic surgeon. So like we just like would knock on his door. We're like blood. We're like, we're here.
Like, oh my God.
I think he gave like 4 out of my 6 siblings, like that were 6 altogether. I think he gave us at least stitches or butterfly stitches or like a cast or like something.
Yeah, which is actually crazy. I never broke any bones or got stitches ever.
So I got stitches playing dodgeball.
Yeah, I feel like that's every Chabad girl.
Machanayim. By the way, we're so aggressive. I think Chabad girls are very aggressive, like very athletically aggressive. Like everyone, like
competitive,
sporty and competitive. It's so funny. Literally everyone.
Yeah, I don't know about everyone.
I think majority.
There's some like there's some really girly girls like out there in Chabad. There's like always those girls who would like sit on the side. Yeah. But there's also one time where I was like so upset at my sister that I went to her closet and just messed up all her clothes.
Ooh, like, you really got her this time.
It was really bad. Like I think she like spent a long time organizing her closet and I just like threw everything everywhere.
No way.
It was like her with all her like
my brother sprayed all over my mother's clothes when they were younger. Palm oil that you sprayed it by all her clothes were ruined. You can't get that stuff out.
Oh my God. No, that's crazy. Okay. Why did they do that?
They're crazy. Just for fun. Do you know what that? Yeah, no, they were like younger. They're playing firefighter. I think my mom said.
Oh yeah, totally. I know what firefighter is.
Question: going back to shlichus, did you have any crazy stories where like people came into your house and like did crazy things?
Oh my God, we had some crazy people. There was this one lady who like she was like super like I don't know how to explain it. Like like one time she was like, look at me, like I'm dressed so modestly, like, cause she was wearing a dress instead of like pants, I guess. But first of all, her dress was like a mini dress. So it's like not any more modest than pants. And then she's like all covered though. Like she has like long sleeves and stuff. She turns around. She has like a huge slit going all the way up, a huge open back. But she was just like a widely like crazy lady. Like you have some crazy people come through these places. She was also like, I love Turkish people. They're so nice. Like in this building. Do you know this story?
No. Okay, I think I heard it. Continue.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this Turkish guy, like he opens the door for me every time. I mean, he's the doorman, but like he's so nice. Like, I kid you not.
Oh my gosh,
these people you learn to stay away from.
I was like, okay, so we made a gift basket for like the holiday of Purim, preemptive, and then we would give it to anyone who like in the Jewish area that like they look Jewish, like not the stereotype, but like either they look Jewish or they had a mezuzah in front of their door, because a lot of people had mezuzahs in front of their door, even if like they weren't religious. It was just like, you know, like a very traditional thing to do. So we would give this out. It was like, we would go to all like these areas. So like we'd have like different cars, like people in my community would help us. So this lady was like, how about this? I'll put you in my trunk. It was like a mini car. She's like, I'll open my trunk.
What?
You'll sit in my trunk with the car open. You'll make the bags.
Oh my God.
Your brother will be in the back and I'll be in the front driving. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. That sounds so sketchy.
Yeah, it was like crazy. And she said like, don't worry. You tell your brother if I need to go like faster or slow down. If you want me to go faster, thumbs up. If you want me to go slow down. It was crazy. And at a certain point, I literally flipped out of the car because I guess she went too fast. And like, I just fell on the floor. And like, all these like people were standing outside. They're like, did a kid? And I was like young. I was like, I must have been 10 or 9 or whatever. I don't know. And I'm just like flying out of a car, like onto the floor. And then, wait, I don't It's literally crazy.
Mushkie, don't worry about just keep on going. Because even if it's like freezing on your side, it's like
fine.
recording.
Okay, fine. I don't know what you're saying. But basically, okay, so then like I fell and there was like blood all over. And she was Russian. They have like this Russian melody. I guess remedy. Sorry, not melody. Remedy. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's a Russian remedy. But like,
imagine she just starts like singing in Russian because like she thinks it's gonna heal you.
She literally said you have to like suck the blood out or like lick the blood. So she started like licking my hand.
She's not normal. And
I just remember I was like, I went straight back to my parents and I literally, I couldn't. I literally couldn't.
That's actually not normal. I've never been like kidnapped in a trunk, but
oh my God. Yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah, some people are strange that come through, but like you kind of just like, you kind of just like, it's like the motto to like the mantra to just like accept everyone.
Right.
You know? So it's like, sometimes people are like weird. One time there was this guy who basically every Wednesday night we have like a Torah learning in the Chabad house. So this guy, we were on our way to it. So we live in Brooklyn. So we were going to Manhattan. So as we were driving, he calls my mother and like his caller ID is like, Ahmala Hamra, like some like Arab name. So like, which is like fine. Like we're not against Arabs, but like if he's like, trying to come to a Jewish place, like why, you know? So we were like, what's up? He's like, I'm outside the door and I need to get in because I'm coming for the shiur. Like I'm coming to learn. And we're like, oh, we'll be there in like 40 minutes. Don't worry. Like you should come back. Like we weren't going to give him the code.
Right.
And he's like, no, I need to get in. I'm here now. We're like, no, we'll open for you when we get there. We hang up and we're freaking out. We're like, who's this random guy that wants to come inside? Like, you hear all these stories of like these Chabad houses getting like attacked from people. We were like freaking out. I was like literally getting ready to like beat him up. I was like, okay, I'm strong enough. Anyways, we get there.
Really
apparently
think
he was
you
like,
have the ability to take him down? I'm just curious.
Well, clearly, I mean, like when the robber came in, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know. I was like, we'll all get together and beat him up collectively. I don't know. I was like convinced that something weird was going on. Anyways, he came in and he was like this like really like, he turned out to be like this really sweet guy. And he was from, I don't know, he was from some Middle Eastern country and he was like converting, into Judaism. And he claimed that his like friends changed his caller ID because they're mad that he's converting to Jew. I was like, that sounds so sketchy. Like, how does someone change your caller ID? I've never heard of that. And they're all the way back in the Middle Eastern, like how, like, I don't know. But he turned out to be like pretty fine. I don't know. He's
like his friends like actually changed his caller ID.
Yeah, I don't know. That story like got me really suspicious, but like he didn't do anything. So I don't know what's that about. Whatever.
You just blinked out. What?
Is there anything else you want to share on this topic? or anything that you want to like, I guess like any message you want to pass, like I guess when it comes to this type of lifestyle, I don't know.
You start. What's something that you would say?
I guess like first of all, like don't judge a book by its cover.
I'm so sorry. You keep spacing out. Say it again.
First, do you hear me this whole time,
yeah,
or is
yeah?
it?
No, for a second I didn't, but now I hear you.
Okay. I think first of all, don't judge. Like, if you're from the secular world and you don't know, this is like your first time like being exposed to something like this. First of all, don't judge a book by its cover. There's a lot of things that I'm not familiar with that people do in the secular world that, you know, that it's just different. And like, we grew up in different lives and there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons, but just like there's a lot of pros and cons to a lot of different things. So I think like, you know, we're not like we're fine. We grew up and we actually gained a lot from these things. And but another thing, I think, like, if you are going on shlichus and you're like going to like some random place, I think you should learn about the consequences that you're going to have, like, from your actions, and like what's that going to be passed down to your kids, you know? So yeah.
Right. I agree. I really agree with the first thing you said about like people should be open-minded when they like see, especially the Hasidic community. I think everyone I've spoken to, the image they have in their mind is like unorthodox, and like they ask me like I get raped and everything, and I'm like, how dare you like not let me like explain? And they don't even want to hear the other side.
Right.
And like this happens to me so many times, and it really gets me angry. I'm like, how can you not let me explain my life? How could you say that for me? Like, that really bothers me. I think another thing is that both sides of it as a community, I don't think people understand that like these people literally dedicate their lives for you. Again, because we spoke about the pros and cons, and there's a lot of cons, but they're going through these cons because they really believe that, like, right? Like, we really believe like we're there for the community. And I don't think like people understand the extent of like how much we give and put forward. I think that's one thing. To wrap this up, I think my greatest qualities and my skills, and that are going to make me the most successful in life, really come from my life in shlichus, and I would never switch it around. With the cons and the pros, I think the leadership and like my commitment to people and to my passion, I don't think anything beats that, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's really cool that we were able to like experience that. Some people have a bad experience, so I guess like I think just people need to be open to all different types of factors that go into it and different outcomes. There are different outcomes, and not shlichus is not for everyone, you know? So like when we learned in high school, it's another point. We learned in seminary, like, oh, go out shlichus, that's what you need to do. So get married, have kids, go out to shlichus. Like, no, maybe I want to have a career somewhere else, you know, like that's fine. And that's like, I mean, I guess that's a whole nother topic, but like the fact that in school, we're not really set up to go to college or to learn secular studies because it's about shlichus. It's not about doing those things, but like really, like at the end of the day, everyone has their different path in life. Not everyone's path is to do that. So yeah, but everyone who does, it's really cool that they do it. And yeah.
Wow. Well said, Rivka.
Mushkie,
well
thank
said.
You so
and
much for coming on here.
And I cannot believe I still hear you. Thank you. Okay, next time, listen. There's definitely be next time. I want a microphone, and I'm going to be by you because this is so dysfunctional.
Well, hello. When you come in for like Hadassah's wedding, maybe do you want to come in person?
Am I invited again? Is that what you're saying?
I'm literally saying come on again, and we'll have it like not lag, hopefully. Honestly, the whole beginning of this episode was totally fine. It was just towards the end. I don't know what happened there.
We've got
like, shut up. Conclude the episode already.
So much editing.
It's really not. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think it records it separately. I think it records everything from your phone, and then it records mine.
Right. So we'll see.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I think
honestly,
it'll be fine. But
I'm really happy to be on this.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of crowd listens to this and who like does it to your podcast, but all I want to say is even one person who just got a glimpse, who didn't understand this world and got a glimpse into it, I'm glad we created like the vessel to, you know, to help people 1,000%. Understand.
I think everyone who actually follows the podcast on Spotify is mostly people from our community, but there are definitely a lot of streams that people don't follow, but they listen to it, that are not necessarily Jewish or religious at all. So for sure, I think people are getting a glimpse into it. Right. And yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
If they relate to it.
What? Yeah,
Thanks,
I'm sure they
everyone.
could relate to it like in different ways also. Like if you're just, I don't know, if I'm sure there's not Jewish people running non-for-profit things, like, you know, it's not just in this life. Anyways, yes, thank you guys for listening all the way till the end and for taking keeping up with our technical issues.
Oh my gosh.
We'll
Yes,
see
thank you,
you
everyone.
next time. Bye.
See ya. Bye.